Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Toyota Tailgate Tales. And it's so good to have Susan Hamilton with us today. Susan, a longtime trustee and former chairman of the Gator Bowl game with Notre Dame and NC State. Sellout game, amazing game I'm sure, but it's so good to have you with us today. And we're going to have an interesting discussion because Susan's a diehard Auburn fan. And so we'll get into tailgating and things of those things, but it's great to have you with us today, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Let's talk a little bit about Auburn. Auburn, no question about it, has the best pregame show.
Amen.
And from a tailgating standpoint, everything's unique, but Auburn is special in that regard.
Auburn's got a very family-oriented tailgate tradition, and people are very comfortable having their children there. You don't see liquor, you don't see misbehavior, you don't hear bad language, and we have prided ourselves on that tradition. People come and start tailgating as late as Thursday. They're definitely driving in there on Friday before a Saturday game, but Saturday is just chaotic. I park, frankly, off campus. Always have and walked on. But it is a fantastic environment, and Toomer's Corner is very famous because in my years at Auburn, after we beat Bear Bryant's Alabama team in '72 in Birmingham with 2 blocked punts, both of which were run in for touchdowns, we all drove back to campus that night in our finery. Back then you dressed up for football games. My then boyfriend, soon to be husband, was in a suit. I was in a dress with a corsage. And we went to Toomer's Corner and we rolled Toomer's Corner, and that has become an amazing tradition.
And is
for
that
Auburn.
every game or
every
just
big
special?
Game.
Okay,
every
big game.
win.
I got
every
you.
big win, whether at home or away.
I see.
Everybody congregates. So when we went to the Final Four in basketball this past year, they went to the Toomer's Corner. When our men won the National Golf Championship last summer, they went to Toomer's Corner. When we won the Equestrian Championship, they go to Toomer's Corner. We've got a really good sports program overall, so people just traditionally go to Toomer's Corner. That's the tradition. But once you get into the stadium, people go to the stadium really early. And everybody tries to position themselves so they can see that eagle. A professor from Auburn was in Lee's army in the Battle of the Wilderness. He was wounded, and when he awakened on the battlefield, next to him was a wounded eagle. He would not go back to the field hospital without the eagle. He took the eagle with him and nursed it back to health, and then he took it back to Auburn. It was known then as the War Eagle. Auburn dates back to 1856, so it predated the Civil War. And the first football game, as you know, played in the South was Auburn and Georgia at Piedmont Park in Atlanta. In
Oldest
1890,
rivalry in the
oldest
South.
rivalry in the South, 1892. And Auburn was driving, sorry, but for the winning touchdown. And the eagle broke loose of its tether and was flying over the field, and so all the Auburn people, Piedmont Park in Atlanta, close to Auburn, so a lot of people went. They were all pointing skyward saying, "War Eagle, War Eagle," and that became our cry. And when they released that eagle flying with 90,000 people in that stadium, and that eagle is giving us a show flying around and landing on that big chunk of meat right on the 50-yard line. You cannot believe the thrill that gives people.
You know, we talked a little bit about the atmosphere, but what's your go-to foods when you're participating in a tailgate?
Well, when the weather's cold, I like to make a pot of my famous chili. That's a lot of hassle to transport the chili from wherever we're staying, but it's worth it. My chili is very good.
That's awesome. I think Auburn's positioned to really do well this year. Got a big game with Oklahoma. I mean, we would love to see Auburn here in the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl.
You know I would.
Well, I know it, and it's been a long time since that's happened.
Not since I was in school has Auburn been in the Gator Bowl. We were in the Gator Bowl. Archie Manning and Pat Sullivan. Pat won the Heisman in '71. Archie should have won it in '70 and didn't because the Stanford quarterback did. But we had a shootout in the Gator Bowl. It was one of the best ever. And we were here right when I was in law school. In '74, we beat Texas. We have a pretty good Gator Bowl record.
Absolutely.
Real good Gator Bowl
record. When you're on campus the next time for the Georgia game, please mention to Coach Freeze he needs to pile up some wins so they can be in consideration
I'm
for
ready.
our game.
I'm ready. It's been a long dry spell.
Let me ask you, yeah, it has, and it'd be great to have Auburn here. As we close, let me ask you this. What's been your best memory in your long time association with Gator Bowl sports?
I got to ride with the Clydesdales. We had the parade downtown. I rode with the Clydesdales with a Dalmatian licking my ear. And excuse me, but they had 4 men with the biggest poop scoopers you've ever seen behind the wagon following us that whole route through downtown. I felt so sorry for those guys.
Well,
but it was wonderful. The weather was perfect that whole weekend. We had the chairman's event, and I had Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Oh my
they
gosh.
They let me pick a band from my growing up years, from the high school years, and Paul Revere and the Raiders put on a show at the banquet, and we just had a blast. The fireworks were wonderful. The weather was perfect, and I was in the Weaver Suite at that time. The Weavers owned the Jaguars then, so I got to have friends and family in the Weaver Suite.
That is great.
It was special.
Well,
very special.
There are a lot of special memories here, and we can't thank you enough for sharing some of those memories. And more importantly than that, we appreciate all you've done for us and your leadership, and still a very vocal member that really helps us get better. And we're just so grateful for everything you've done for Gator Bowl sports over the years.
Well, I appreciate Gator Bowl sports. I appreciate this team. We got a great team here. Y'all have done so much.
It's great visiting with you today, and we really appreciate Toyota sponsoring this event. But until next week, I'm Greg McGarity, and we'll shut the door.
Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places.